I just rewatched the last episode to like freshly put it like back in my head. So
it's all
no. I fell asleep both times watching the episode.
That's a good option because like every time Insecure comes on, I watch it twice. Just because like in the second watch, I always pick up like subtle like nuances I didn't pick up the first time.
Agreed.
And not even that it's like the deepest show. It's just better that way.
Everybody, welcome to Late Breakfast. I am Torian B.
And I am First Class Reg.
And we have, oh, look who it is. It's Julius. Julius showed up today, y'all.
I did finally because work is killing me.
Wow.
Hey, man. That's cool. Danny's here. Danny ran 11 miles today, guys.
Yeah, didn't run. I biked.
Oh, Danny biked 11 miles today, guys.
I ran 5 miles.
Yeah. And Chloe. We got Chloe here today, y'all. And she's slim and trim.
Hey.
Not yet.
Slim and trim.
So we are back to talk about another episode of Insecure. This week's episode, a lot of people didn't like. They felt like it was a clusterfuck, but I think it was meaningful to a realization and growth for Issa. React.
Well, why do you think that?
I think that because she obviously felt guilty because like it really resonated with her that Molly told her that she uses people. So she tried to redeem herself by helping people and doing good deeds. And every time she did a good deed, it didn't work out.
No, it did work out.
No, none. Like she learned something, but none of them worked out like ideal. None of them. So I think when she finally went home to her mom, like she's been trying to like hold it together and tell herself everything's okay, and she cried and realized that okay, it's cool for everything not to be okay. And then at the end, when she shows up at the spot and she sees Molly, and she basically comes to terms and says, I'm closing this chapter. And I was thinking to myself, like, damn, what would I do versus what Issa would do, right? Me, I would probably force the issue. I would talk to my friend. Like, I would try to salvage the relationship, try to work it out. But for some people just need to let certain people go. So who knows what's going to happen later on in the season, but I feel like Issa was just like, yo, this is a dead horse. Writing something on the wall.
I don't think she walked away because she was like, I'm done with this. I think she just walked away because it's kind of the continued pattern of Issa where she's not good at confrontation. I feel like they are going to bump heads or they are going to run into each other eventually. Because in the Insecure world, LA is really fucking small. So her just going to a restaurant that she likes and just seeing Molly on a whim or running into Lawrence.
Well, it's a restaurant they both like. They're best friends.
But like I was using that more so as an example of like just she always runs into people that she really, really knows. So like I think in that instance, she just wasn't ready to have the conversation. And I think it kind of ties back into the last episode, not the last one, but the one before that, where she's in the car with her brother and her brother kind of like sparks the idea like, you don't have to do whatever if you don't want to. And then that sparked her like kind of putting off the conversation that she needed to have with Molly. I think right now it's just a matter of like, I don't do well with confrontation. I'm gonna handle this at another time instead of it being I'm done with this chapter, because I don't think she's done yet. I just don't think she knows the words yet.
I kind of took it as more of a situation where she's finally accepting her. It's kind of, for me, I took it more as she's appreciating and recognizing her self-worth and recognizing a friend who isn't seeing her growth. And as a person who, when you go through something and you feel like you're picking up where you were falling short as an adult, as a person in whatever aspect of life you are, it's really hard when your best friends don't recognize it. Yeah. And also that's time when you have to realize you're not doing it for anybody else but yourself. And I kind of felt that situation was more, all right, I'm here for me. I'm not here for for Molly's exception. I'm not here for the rest of my friends' exception. Because I kind of feel constantly, whenever you see her group of friends talking, and it's always been a thing, it's like, you got this going on. You got this going on. Issa has, and they, it just falls short there. She finally has something going on. She seems proud of herself for once because she is accomplishing things that she wanted to. So it's kind of like, if as my friend, you can't recognize this, then that separation needs to be, because I can't have anybody who's not helping my perpetual growth around me.
I agree with Daniel. I think to go back to what Torian mentioned about Issa trying to help everybody and nothing like worked. Actually, it did. She helped everyone in that scenario, just not in the way that she was expecting the outcome to be, which I think the parallel to that would go back to the block party. Like when she met the lady, the pregnant lady in the store, and she couldn't afford the it was a little decline. And the lady was like, oh, this just got sad, but you've helped me today. Like just you trying to offer to help me showed her like, yeah, there are people that are still genuinely kind and nice in this world. The old man, even though she didn't like how long it took her, she still dropped off where he had to go. You know what I mean? And then even the girls, the friends, even though they dined and dashed and was whack to her, she helped them in their friendship because their mission was a fun bridal baby bachelorette weekend. Like them and their friendship, they're tighter than ever because they have that bonding memory. And when they're gonna leave, they remember that time for Kyla Pratt's, bachelorette weekend. Oh, remember we was in LA? We had mad fun. That's a memory for them. Now it's not necessarily.
But they fucking bumps.
Kyla Pratt made a cameo, so we're gonna take it for what it was, okay?
Yeah,
but
ain't no Raven Simone.
But if you circle back, when she goes home later on that night at the end after she's talked to her mom and now has this realization about what she's actually doing and has a firm understanding of what her job is, she goes back online or on Facebook and she sees the comments about the event. Everyone's like, yo, that shit was dope. When's the next one? When's the next one? Like, even though how it went down, it wasn't her ideal crowd. It wasn't the ideal publicity. The ending and the fight with Molly, that wasn't how she wanted it to go. But people still enjoyed that event. It still was an outcome in which she accomplished. So I think it kind of showed the parallel between all that. Sometimes what you want and what you have planned to do doesn't always go according to plan, but it doesn't mean it ended badly or not in your favor.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So yeah, how about we just?
Kyla Pratt, by the way, is going to be more effective and more.
Yeah, I don't appreciate Kyla Pratt slander.
Raven Simone, by the way.
Relax.
First of all, Kyla, we love Kyla and Raven. We're not putting two queens in the '90s against each other ever. Ever.
So I have to clear that up.
I'm sorry, Claire. You said that Kyla Pratt is what compared to Raven Simone? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said she's given me more. Kyla Pratt has given me more things that I enjoyed in Raven Simone.
Speak for yourself, sir.
I did. Right.
They're both legendary and iconic in their both.
Raven was on the Cosby Show. She did Cheetah Girls. Raven Simone is only.
You appreciated Cheetah Girls? You watched Cheetah Girls?
I did. I enjoyed it. Out of it. Yeah.
We're not gonna come for Kyla. Okay, Kyla's been acting. She was 3 years old. She's been in numerous movies.
I've always loved
she had her own before Raven. Kyla Pratt had one-on-one before Raven. Let's not do this.
Okay. Well, how many continents is Kyla from?
Twins.
How many continents is Kyla from?
Why do you put black women against each other? They were both popping. Like, stop. Don't do that. No. You can celebrate one without putting
my line in the
I
sand.
love how Julius doesn't say anything just to throw salt in real quick.
I enjoyed the fuck out of Cheetah Girls and That's So Raven.
Well, I know Kyla Pratt is from one continent, so that's what really matters.
You know her whole genealogy?
You say you know her from where?
He's talking about
Kyla Pratt is from one continent.
She wasn't black. Or she wasn't from Africa or whatever.
Exactly. So anyway, I can't wait next week till we see Molly and Dude have issues. Because
why do you assume they're gonna have it?
They're going on a vacation, and it's a drama.
That's not necessarily a bad thing, bro. Sometimes that vacation is what makes you realize, oh, this could really work.
And it won't work.
Yeah.
Why are you rooting for Molly to lose?
Because Molly is the MVP of the show. It's not Issa. It's Molly. Molly
low key. I think Molly really might be my favorite character because I hate her so much.
Exactly.
I hate every decision she makes. But I'm more like, how are you gonna fuck this up than anybody else? Like as soon as she puts herself in another situation.
I need more Kelly and Babysitting Chronicles, please.
Yes. Yo, Kelly is my favorite character. That like, come on, how do we not have anything?
My favorite.
I don't know shit about Kelly.
I feel like she's wildly depressed on
we talked about this last week, Reg. We talked about this already.
Kelly is hilarious. She's great. She's a great writer too. So
yeah,
it really makes her stand out.
I wonder, do they plan on expanding anything with that? about her character? Like, will she get? Will Kelly get an episode?
I think somebody had mentioned here last episode that they
last week
the podcast that she has as a spinoff, because she really needs to put that podcast. They need to do that as like extra content for the show and just put a podcast out with her.
Well, gradually it's growing because we just found out about Issa's mom, and well into the series.
I was like, yeah, because I was watching it and I'm like, yo, this whole time her mom been Regina Greer. This whole time?
They showed her in the Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah, I know, but we got 4 seasons in to know who her
boss lady.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't about them at first. I wouldn't know who was their dad.
Didn't get Issa's parents in the earlier episode, or am I thinking about another show?
Lawrence's dad. We already see
the only
Lawrence's
time
dad.
we saw them was the Thanksgiving episode where the stepfather slipped and hurt himself right as they got there.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't seen the dad, but is the dad even alive?
I'm thinking about another show then. Oh, I am. I'm thinking about She's Gotta Have It. Sorry.
Yeah, no. We saw Lawrence's dad like season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you saw Lawrence's dad early.
Yeah, but other than that, we haven't seen Issa's dad at all. I want to know if Issa's dad is around.
It's probably
So they always mention mom. They don't mention like they talk about dad like past tense, not like have you spoken to dad?
Issa's dad is an ex-gang member probably.
Wow. Why? Where? Y'all conspiracies about Insecure be hilarious. It's so outlandish.
It would explain a lot about Issa's abandonment issues. I mean, I don't know. Just saying.
So, are we going to talk about the next guy Issa is going to mess with?
She's going to get with Nathan soon. They're going to fuck.
Because, I mean, like, she left him. Well, he left her.
He came back.
Talk so slow.
He came back.
Like the speed at which he speaks is just so slow. I hate hearing him talk.
I love hearing him talk. See, y'all, it's not for y'all. Nathan's not there for y'all. He's there for us. Okay?
So y'all like niggas that talk slow? That's the secret?
Don't be stupid.
Oh,
stupid.
Flip
your phone.
So,
B, what up, girl?
Hi, guys.
So, Chloe.
Flip your phone.
So, Chloe.
Sorry. Why is this? Hold on.
What? Yes, baby.
So, a guy ghosts you. Y'all get back, to it. Would you take him back?
I've done that. Then I've ghosted them. I'm the wrong person to ask. I'm terrible.
Was there reconciliation?
There was sex.
Was there a reconciliation?
Okay. I've never had anybody ghost me like how he did. Like him and Issa was like a thing, like consistently together, and all of a sudden, like, actually, I've had a nigga do that. Actually, he popped back up like 3 years later and asked me for a favor because he was trying to rap, and I was like, nigga, what? So we're not gonna talk about you just disappearing? And then he apologized, explained like he was on a break from his girl. They got back together. Now they had a kid, so I don't feel bad.
I've been ghosted before, and I ghosted, and me and the girl reconnected, and we just became cool. And then I've been ghosted by a girl, and we dealt with each other again. It didn't work out, and then we just became cool. Both times ended up us just being cool, but
yeah.
And then I've been ghosted I've been ghosted by like some girls and never heard from them ever again.
I've ghosted more than I've been ghosted.
I've never ghosted anybody though. That's not me.
I love it.
It's not intentional. It's just sometimes I be too awkward that I don't have the words to be like, it's you, not me, and I don't want to say that, so I kind of just be like,
yes, you do.
My doormat says that.
Oh goodness. B, your thoughts on last week's episode, on the past episode?
I thought it was a good episode. I mean, it was very slow. It was bland, kind of. I said that in the chat that we have on Instagram, but I when it comes to Issa, I like Issa. I think Issa's just like going through shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the easiest way to put it. Like, everybody's so hard on her. Like, a lot of people call her a bum. Like, it's just hard on her. I don't understand why. Like, the whole, especially with like the event, like that event took a lot out of her to do, and she actually did it. So, and even like with the whole Lawrence thing, like, people always forget that Issa held Lawrence down for 5 years. Like, Lawrence wasn't working.
But Lawrence was holding his end of the table though, because he had savings.
Was he unemployed the whole 5 years? He was.
No, he was unemployed for 2 years. I just rewatched it. To catch up on conversations. He was unemployed 2 years. They were together 5 years.
And
he also had savings the whole time, because remember when Shorty was trying to bag him from the bank, she was like, "Oh, and I see you still got plenty of savings."
She said a little bit of savings.
So it wasn't Issa was
over-exaggerate.
holding him down.
God.
She just needed him more
She
motivated,
said,
which is a
I see
difference.
you got a little bit
He
of
wasn't
savings.
holding him down. He was holding his own.
A little bit of savings.
I mean,
Exaggerate.
but when it came to the relationship in itself, he wasn't holding his own. It was just terrible at the beginning. Like at the beginning when the season started.
Her
He was
birthday?
holding himself down.
Yeah.
He wasn't holding the relationship down. You're right.
A lot going on. So I don't know how much savings he had, but he clearly wasn't sharing the same. So just based on that alone, like I feel like people don't give her enough credit for that. Yeah, she did cheat, but at the end of the day, like
she cheated. That
was emotional.
Yeah, like I don't think there's an end of the day after that.
It was emotional because she wasn't being fulfilled emotionally by the man at home. Lawrence not working wasn't the problem.
And that's the worst
Lawrence
kind of
checked
cheating
out
there
of
is.
their relationship.
You cheated.
Lawrence checked out. Period.
That's the worst kind of cheating there is. The emotion.
How can you
Exactly.
cheated?
Wait, Lawrence checked out and she didn't?
Because after so long, this nigga, we gonna reschedule my birthday?
Yeah,
My
no,
birthday?
Lawrence
You
was
couldn't
fucked
make
up
me
for
a
that.
macaroni
He
call?
wasn't holding his own.
Bitch, he wasn't. They both checked out of their relationship. Shit happens.
Yeah.
But you niggas do way worse and expect somebody to take their little lying,
Man,
crusty,
I was
dirty
like,
dick, cheating ass back.
We were waiting for
And
this.
she fucked the nigga in her studio, and we.
It wasn't her studio. It was his. She didn't. At least she ain't fuck him in the house. Like some of you niggas be bringing bitches in the crib.
Fucked the
But
nigga.
yo, let me understand this. Why is it that when we call Issa a bum, she's doing this, she's doing that, but then Lawrence is a bum? Like Lawrence.
I didn't say he was a bum. Don't say that.
Everybody says it.
I'm just saying in general. Like women stay calling Lawrence a bum, but when we call Issa a bum, we're wrong. Like you can't say that. She's trying. Nah, but she's trying, but she's still a bum.
You know the funny thing is that had the scenario been the traditional scenario of the dude cheating and the woman being heartbroken, y'all would not have this narrative. Even if Lawrence was y'all would have expected Issa to stay though.
Her bum ass.
No.
Y'all wouldn't have been surprised if she did. Ivana's here.
Oh, this about to be
Hi,
She's a bum. She's
Ivana,
turned up.
they back here talking with this whole.
But she's a
Issa's
good friend.
bum.
Issa may be a bum, but she is a good friend.
She's an amazing friend, but he's a bum.
Yeah.
Issa's a bum?
Yes.
Lawrence is a bum too. So I'm keeping that same
Let
energy.
me go grab my lamp. I need to illuminate the situation.
This is a good friend, but she's been a shitty friend this season.
But she hasn't.
She was a shitty friend to Molly. But I think
That's Molly. That's all Molly. All Molly.
But this is the thing. Molly didn't even take one time to just acknowledge what Issa was trying to do. And as a best friend, I'm saying I'm about to throw an event for the community. Your best friend's a lawyer. Not once did Molly be like, oh, hey, do you need help with any vendors or need to go over any contracts? Like you was throwing mad shade when my person backed out. Like, oh, did you read your contract? Did you do your, like, you wasn't helping all that other time when I was doing this shit in the beginning. Like Molly had her own focus on what her own shit was. And obviously, if you're not telling your best friend what's going on with you, Issa doesn't know what's wrong with you, and vice versa. They both just were terrible with communication.
We're bad friends.
No, it's not bad friends.
I don't think they were bad friends.
Yeah.
I think they were just more invested in what they were going through than the other person.
So the reason, so let me back that up a little bit. So like the reason why I say they were bad friends is because like as a best friend, you're supposed to pick up on social cues with your best friend. It's not that you know exactly what they're thinking, but you can at least read the situation a little more than you would with a typical friend. Like her inviting Condola over when they were having the lunch or whatever.
You still pressed about that.
That's bad reading.
She was already there.
Let me cook. So
I also know you do not like it when the women you date expect you to be mind readers. So why do you expect it out of your friendship?
No, it's not. Okay, so let me cook. So it's not about being a mind reader. It's just about reading the situation. Like reading that your friend wants to have lunchtime with you with nobody else.
But it's also about being an adult and saying what you want.
Reading the room.
She asked Molly, should I tell her to leave? Because she actually did pick up on that based off Molly's reaction when Condola went to the bathroom. Thought it was just gonna be just us. Hey, do you want her to leave? Molly said no. I'm not gonna tell her to go if you said no.
But you already made it awkward. Okay, so I'm not.
How did she make it awkward?
I'm not even on that anymore. So let's move to.
So now you dropping your point because now
it don't matter. It's over in the past. There's so much more. There's so much more.
Multiple. Listen. So then she has the point where Molly's in the office. She's obviously frustrated, whatever. She gets a call from Issa. Issa's like, yeah, how you doing or whatever. And Molly, like, we see her let her shoulders down and she's getting ready to, like, you know, she's like, oh, you just wanted to talk. She's getting ready to, like, pour out, you know, how she's feeling. And Issa goes, oh, yeah, girl, that sucks. All right, well, I need to, and she just pushed that aside. Again, not reading the situation, she pushed it aside to like pour her own problems on her.
But you keep making it Issa's problem for Molly to be an adult and vocalize what's going on. If I have a best friend and they're not paying attention to me when I need them to, and they're just focused on what they're doing, because again, Issa just went through a major life change. She changed her entire career, quit her entire job to do something. So of course, maybe she's a little distracted right now. Molly is a grown ass woman. Me, if I'm going through something, I'm calling my best friend, yo, bitch, I need to talk. And they're all ears. It's about being vocal. They too old for this. Molly's just picking now because she's so focused on what she's already seen Issa be in the past. She has this narrative that she doesn't want to let go of who Issa is and what she's done, but like she's not paying attention to what's happening. Issa's not a mind reader. Issa's never been a mind reader. Molly's always been the strong one. So if you're the strong one and now it's time to be vulnerable, you have to express that.
I can't get over Molly being an entire lawyer that doesn't know how to communicate.
I don't understand.
That makes sense.
Like that's literally what you do for a living is you state your case, you talk about, you back things up with evidence. Like I still don't understand how
that doesn't mean you know how to communicate. It just means you know how to argue. There's a difference.
But to argue, you have to be able to state your side.
No, you have to just be able to articulate yourself well. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to communicate both ways, because communication is both ways. You have to feedback and also know who you're explaining it to. Lawyers use how they're explaining things for a specific reason, so they know their angle they're coming with the entire time. They're manipulating a conversation.
Like Molly did at the end of the prior episode.
But
Molly,
not well.
Molly let everything that she felt about Issa, she let that shit fly when they were arguing. And that's how she's always felt. That's how she's always seen her. And she, opposed to holding back, she didn't hold back. Because friends usually do hold back a little bit what they truly think of their friends because it's their friend. So they don't try to give them the raw truth. They try to sugarcoat, oh girl, you know, you'll get through it. But this time she was like, nah, you always going through some shit. Shit is always fucked up for you. But that's how she always feel like, damn, my girl always going through it, making dumbass decisions. That's how she always felt about Issa.
And that's why Issa should not go back to Molly. Issa should not go back to Molly.
Like, even in friends with like friend relationships, with guys, you have that situation where, dude, sometimes, you know, it's like, yo, you don't know how to say it. Sometimes you have to man the fuck up. And sometimes it's hard for people to recognize growth after a while. And so, unfortunately, I feel like in Issa's position, she has to realize it's going to take longer. It's only been, a year or two since not even a year since she's had her shit together. So Molly has she's earned this perception of herself through her friends, right? And now she just wants it gone within that quickly. While, yes, she's shown crazy growth, she also has to realize it takes time, and it takes both of them communicating. It's not just Molly who hasn't communicated well this whole season with everything going down with them either.
Have you guys spoken about because I got here late? Why? Why is the Issa's responsibility?
Right. All right. So, Ivana, give us your quick feelings on the past episode. Everybody's giving their quick feelings on the past episode.
In general, damn, I'm even trying to remember it. It was a little anticlimactic compared to the ones that we've had, but not every episode could be a high. I understand that. Mm-hmm. I thought it was one thing I'm noticing about the season in general that I think is really fun is like the Black Excellence cameos that we're getting, because I love that we got Kyla Pratt in an episode, and like just in general, every time we have someone come in as like a quick character, they've been able to make it someone fun that you recognize. And I love Issa and the producers and the writers using that platform to be able to nod to, obviously, that she's from the same generation as a lot of people that watch it, so it means something to us. So I think that's fun. I also don't understand the storyline of, obviously we're only seeing Issa's day, but I hate that it's very much about Issa having to be the one to reach out. Kelly's kind of like, what's up? Have you spoken to her? Yes, I've said the same shit to Molly, but I'm asking you right now, are you guys never going to speak if someone doesn't make the first move? I also think it's really funny that I think it's a good point of view from Issa's head where she's trying new things in so many aspects of her life that it being around her meeting this new group of girls is also a lot about like, should she venture out and start new friendships? Like, obviously, I think Issa maybe feels like something is missing out of her friendships and her sisterhood right now that she's trying to get from different places. I think that her, Kelly, Tiffany, and Molly already have like such a structured way that their friendship works that she's looking for something that she's missing maybe. It's like when you're missing something out of a relationship with a significant other, there's something that she's missing and she's trying to like find maybe and try new spaces and do different things. And I love that for her. I want to see more of that for her. I think it's funny, obviously, the whole series is always, it stems from Awkward Black Girl, right? So it's also a lot about how shit just never goes her way. So I think it was a good nod to like, yeah, Issa's on the up and up, but things are still gonna work out for Issa the way they do. And like the thing that happened with the paint and sip girls and the old man in the car. And it's just like, she's always in some shit and that's just Issa's life. And I especially love the scene with her mom, because I think we do put a lot in our own heads, like how do the people that we love and respect, how are they gonna see us and what do they think of us? And Issa feeling like her mom maybe saying, you got your hands in too many pots. She internalized it one way when her mom meant it a completely different way. And I think that it's dope to see that perspective of that relationship. Just the simple, like, your mom knows something's wrong with you. So the minute you give that hug, you start fucking sobbing because you're not saying nothing, but your mother always knows. And she just fucking knew. So I think that this was it was a subtle play on how the emotions are so high right now in the writing and in the episode. So if anything, even though it was kind of like a boring episode for the viewer, I think it was like really exciting work for the writers. And it reminds you why Insecure is on HBO. Like that's where you go to like really fucking push your pen. And be able to like give different dynamics of relationships. On the messy side, I'm sick of Molly's shit, and I'm glad Issa didn't go inside of the restaurant. Ooh. I mean, if I had gone into the restaurant, I would have straight
up got my food.
Yeah, well, no, I still would have went to Molly because I would have had to be like, we're not gonna act like we're not here and we don't have history. Like, hello, hi.
I would.
But if you're not ready to have that conversation,
I wouldn't have went inside either. I probably wouldn't have been ready to have that conversation with Molly.
Right. If you're not ready to have the conversation, then I respect her leaving instead of her going in there and acting like nothing's going on. I like it better that she left. You can get food anywhere, Chloe. Come on.
Exactly. She was cleaning for that food.
She was having that food, though.
But I think it also, it's almost like, it's funny to me because it also shows so much of like how relationships can run so deep even in your friendships because that's their spot, right? Like she was craving the shit out of something. She got high. She was hungry. I'm going to go to my spot. It's the same thing as if you run into a spot that like an ex put you onto or something. It's a very like, I think that was a good way to end the episode because it reminds us these guys, they're not going to outrun each other. They can't just like outrun this. At some point, they're going to have to confront it. And the question is like, is it going to be too late when they do? Is it going to be worth it? Like, what's going to happen next?
But it also just shows you how much they're still connected and how much they're still friends. They both on the same exact day had the same craving at the same time for the same type of cuisine. Like, they're still connected. They still have a bond there. It's just like, is it going to be worth salvaging for them at this point? You know what I mean? There's still that little, you still got that connection with your friend. Like, bitch, I was craving that too. Yes. Right. You know what I mean?
Also, one thing I didn't mention, but I want to bring up because of the writing too, is I love the fact that Andrew was cutting hair and he was on his AirPods having a conversation. Because I don't go to the barbershop, but even when I go to the salon, bitches are always doing the same thing. Like somebody's always having their own fucking conversation.
Nigga say,
they're cutting your hair. Where is our customer service as a community? But I thought that was a nice touch. Like,
nigga say, yeah.
Are you talking about Nathan?
Nathan, not Andrew. Sorry, I don't even know who.
No, it's fine. Because I was like, I'm sorry, but Nathan, yeah. I like Nathan, but at the same time, I don't. Like that.
I know he's toxic. He's toxic.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Like,
no, he's not.
What?
Nathan's not toxic.
Yes, he is.
How is he toxic for looking out for his superstar player? Huh?
Himself?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, no. That's what. Look. 100%, I'm pretty sure Nathan's a Scorpio because that's some shit I would have done. I can't deal right now. I'm not really going to talk. I don't really feel like addressing it, but I'm still, what's good? When you're feeling like it.
Well, technically,
it's not healthy though. It is toxic. I'm just saying I understand where he did it.
Time out. I want to retract that statement. Technically, we have Molly to blame for Nathan's kind of step back because when he wanted to pop up and talk to her, who was the #1 cock block?
Girl, bye.
The bitch that's talking about respecting people's boundaries.
Girl,
meanwhile, she
Nathan
didn't even respect Issa's boundary.
Nathan went all the way to Texas. Nathan was in Texas.
Doesn't matter.
For like
it was for Issa to decide.
He didn't because of Molly. So
he's gonna be going through depression. He don't know how to talk about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Maybe
have the tools. He doesn't have the tools yet. Just like Molly, Issa has a type.
Nathan's a drug addict.
You think so?
That's what I was saying. No, low key, that's what I was thinking too. That he may have other issues.
Wow.
You think he was like on a bender?
How did you guys get?
When did he start cutting hair?
He's been a barber.
Barber.
Moved to LA.
Yeah, like that's always been like the staple of what he did and everything.
Yeah.
And look at them. After you go somebody and come back better in shape mentally, look at them. He's supportive. He talks to her. Communication. That's beautiful. That's beauty.
That's right. Amen.
That's beauty.
You know why? Because he looked out for his superstar player.
Shut up, Julius.
He needs to speak a little faster. That's my only issue.
I mean, he looked out for himself.
Exactly. And when you look out for yourself and come back as a better person.
You have to give him his props for admitting it though. Like he acknowledged, like, yo, I fucked up. I was going through something. I should have handled it better. Take your time. I'll be here whenever you want to go there. Like he's not rushing her. He's not putting the pressure on her. He's very like, I'm here. Whatever you need, it's on you.
And I'm sorry. What's the Asian guy's name again? Andrew. So Andrew is a ride or die because I absolutely think that Andrew knew all the full details, but he probably just told his man's like, yo, I gotta get out of town right now. Just, whenever if somebody asks me what's going on, just tell them I'll be back.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's what any friend would do.
Yeah.
I think Andrew's
all right. I gotta be honest. I'll be like, yo, he's going through something right now. Just give him time. Because I would feel really bad about Shorty calling me and like, yo, Reg just stopped picking up my call. I'll be like, listen, man, Reg went to Detroit, but he'll be back. All right.
Shorty pulled up in a robe, bro. Like she was going through it.
I think also Andrew in general though, like he's proving, or what we're getting to know about his personality is that he's really good at, he knows when to not stir the pot. Because he also definitely knew Issa reached out to him and he knows his shorty, so he didn't tell her about it.
Yeah.
He should have been like, yo.
But I don't think
No, because his boy asked him. Not Issa reached out to him, but she reached out through his boy. So he didn't do the favor for Issa. He did it because his boy asked.
Yeah, but he omitted that information to his girlfriend because he knew how she was gonna react because she had spent the whole time.
But it's not her business because her boy.
My only point is I think that he knew that was gonna rile her up, so he decided not to bring that.
Don't think about shit like that until it happens.
Yeah. I think he knew because she was the whole time they were getting ready to go. She was spending the time complaining about where she is with Issa.
He put that much thought into it based on how he saw her react. He was like, "Damn, I thought I did your friend a favor.
Yeah,
I didn't think he was gonna be pressed about it. Like, I don't even think he thought that she would ask him for that favor for Issa. I think if it came from anybody, it would have came from Nathan. So he's like, okay, yeah, sure. I think he literally was at work like, okay, that's cool. It'll take him 2 seconds, which it did. It wasn't nothing. And he was like, oh, this is my girl's. Like, basically, he's like, oh. Like, Molly will be happy. This is for Issa. I don't even think he went that. Only Molly knows what her and Issa are really going through. Like, Andrew kind of knows that they're not seeing eye to eye, but I don't think he thought it was going to be that deep where she was going to be wild. That's why he was like, yo, this is not the time and place. Like, I'm sorry. Like, be mad at me.
This is why I don't date black girls.
Oh, God.
Who don't?
He's speaking from Andrew's perspective.
Oh, I'm about to say, you going down that hill alone, brother.
He knows that we know him.
10-second timeout right there, boy.
Good muting.
Yeah, not on
moment
this
of
show.
silence for fucking
yeah, nigga, you ain't
right
getting this cancel, motherfucker. Yeah, you need to learn your lesson, boy. Chill out.
It's been great. It's been great TV, though. Can we just say Insecure has been great to watch from beginning because it just sparks so many conversations and it gets you just kind of thinking. And they give you just enough to like give you the meat of it, but like all the other extra add-ons that would make it a full entree, they don't give it to us because they want us to have these conversations. Mm-hmm. They want it to be that open-ended.
Yeah.
And that last episode is so beautiful because we saw Issa break down, which we haven't seen. We saw Issa like run through the motions finally, and it was from a happy day from the morning to the nighttime. And then we saw that final moment where you either you fix something or you don't, and every single human being in the world can relate to that. That's why I don't know why people don't like that the episode, because it's literally all a build up to what's next. What's your decision?
It's necessary. It's just one of those episodes though that like it just didn't feel complete. I guess because I'm so used to looking forward to something else at the end of each episode that like this kind of just left me like, and it was like, all right, I mean, whatever. And it just felt so short.
Well, they always feel short, but in the world of TV land, that's textbook writing. Like you bring the audience so far, you bring them to that climax. That fight between Issa and Molly, that was it. That was the peak of everything. So after that, what does a roller coaster do? It does a natural decline, and then at the end, before it lets you off, the season finale is gonna pick us right back, right at the let off, to something to look forward to. Like you have to it's a build, break, build.
Yes.
That's really good television writing will do that. You have to coach down.
Hashtag listen to Chloe.
That was
so do we have any closing statements on the episode before we move to the next subject?
We're gonna find LaToya. We're gonna find her.
Yo, so LaToya is SZA?
What?
I saw like a full LaToya ad on Twitter, and LaToya was SZA.
What?
I didn't notice that, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean about the great cameos.
That would be great. That would be great.
I gotta find it. I'll send it.
My final thought is I want an apology to come from Molly. It's not. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I want an apology to come.
No, it's not gonna happen.
No.
I could dream though.
I don't know. I just know we need a better climactic ending for Founding LaToya, because Due North is still top sitcoms that we never ever got to see.
Okay. Well, we're going to move along to the next topic.
Aww.
On Saturday, we got the Verzuz battle from Ludacris and the hip-hop icon Nelly.
This motherfucker.
It was so good, though. I had such a good time. I'm not going to lie.
All right. So here's my thing, right? The songs that Luda won, the rounds that Luda won, they were clear-cut wins, and I felt like Nelly kind of played around. But the rounds that Luda won, they were really close, but people thought like it should have snooped it. And that was just my take from it. Like I felt like obviously like Luda has more recognizable songs, also because even though both of them were like radio titans, Ludacris's music was more on like the hip hop and R&B, and Nelly did a lot more crossover Hot 100s. So that's just my opinion, and I some people can have a different perspective, but I think that Nelly's songs for me just stand out a little bit more, maybe because like the region I was in, like truth be told, like Nelly was looked more like as like the cool party starter guy, and Ludacris was looked at like a character. Like he looked like nobody took him seriously. So I'll be honest, I'm biased in that. Like we just like. Especially in Atlanta, like Ludacris isn't taken seriously. Nobody takes him serious. Like I know he sells a lot of records, but like he's not.
Why do you hate Luda for?
I didn't say I hate Ludacris.
I've never heard that take ever.
Luda is that Luda came off as a gimmick the whole time. Like at the time, okay, Luda can rap. That's what he has going.
Absolutely a better rapper.
Prove that to you after this battle.
And he has moments where he's really like actually killed the verse. The problem with Luda is, as it's aged, it comes off very gimmicky. It comes off very, all right, I only made this song to try and sell a joke of a hit, and everything about my career is a joke. That's why when it felt like he got the theater of the mind, it was like he finally understood that people weren't taking him seriously, so he had to step it up. And he tried to get more artistic on that album and be less jokey, but it didn't go anywhere. It wasn't a good album.
The album did good. It's just that by that time, I think like the
style of rap changed though. Like rap changed.
Yeah, rap changed. Yeah, rap changed. I guess for me, like, and I'm being honest, like I'm not pulling out a thin air. Like in Atlanta, like you got to remember, Ludacris came out in 2000, right? And then T.I. came out 2 years later, and then Jeezy came out, and then Gucci Mane came out. So like Ludacris really, like truthfully, like he was a joke, like.
But I think that you that perspective comes from the idea that rap and hip hop is not a monolith. The same way people aren't. Like the same way that if you go back into time and like when gangster rap was on the scene, when it first came on the scene, we came off of an era where everything was party rap. So I feel like to this day, there's still been able to exist a lane where you don't have to be one or the other. And Luda just happened to be more of like a party for the ladies type of situation. But that never, like you guys said yourselves, it didn't really affect the bars. But I don't think that like that made him
a joke,
a gimmicky joke. Yeah.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you the consensus over the region that I was living in at the time. Like I finished high school in Atlanta and then I went to college in Florida. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But I also feel like we have to be careful with the way we say things because that's a perspective. That's you and your perspective.
And I started a couple people that I said this is my bias. I made it clear. I said this is my bias and I'm going by where I was at in the region. So since I was like out of New York at that time, people probably in New York like enjoyed it. But I'm just saying like in Atlanta, like if Nelly came on, like I guess they just looked at him like as a party rapper. But since Ludacris is a rapper, like bars, in Atlanta, they just was like, they really wasn't feeling it like that. I'm just telling you the truth. Like, I get that's his city and everything like that, but if they had like a choice between him and like other Atlanta rappers, like that's why it is what it is. Like I'm telling you. I'm just saying from my perspective though. I'm not saying as a consensus.
From my perspective, like growing up in the Midwest, both were like really, really major artists. Like Ludacris being the one that's like, you know, he was looked at as a lyricist. And coming from Atlanta, like Midwest has a lot of respect for Atlanta and Atlanta rappers. And Nelly coming from Midwest, it was like, yo, you're like a neighbor. So like we held all of that close. And I think the distinction was always like, yo, Ludacris is the better rapper, but Nelly makes the better songs. That was always like the distinction between the two. I didn't start hearing about Ludacris being like a jokey, gimmicky rapper till like his career was like over and people like went back and was listening to his shit. But now, like, I mean, who do you guys think won? I feel like the consensus is that Ludacris won.
Luda.
I feel like Nelly won.
I feel like Nelly.
Like I'm in the minority, but I feel like, okay, so the reason why I say that, the reason why I think a lot of people think that Ludacris won was because he delivered a set that was just more better. His Wi-Fi was great, but I'm talking about when it comes to the songs that was playing, I feel like Nelly won. I don't see how.
They know his verse on They Know, his verse on Oh.
He definitely won the first. He definitely won that round for They Know. But I mean,
his verse on Minute Man. Love Isn't Friends.
Yeah,
what's the other one? Pimpin'. And don't get me wrong, Nelly had some fire verses that he was throwing up.
You're talking Pimpin' all over the world. Stop it.
Huh?
Don't pretend you didn't like Pimpin' all over the world when it was out.
Now niggas didn't like Pimpin'.
Now they don't like it. Like,
yeah, Reds didn't like Yeah when it came out. I hated Yeah.
No,
I hate Yeah.
I didn't like Yeah.
But it's still.
Yeah,
like it's still a bop.
Yeah, but then you got to think about like. So when I was rating things, it wasn't based on what the overall consensus is. It's about the songs that I like most, right? I'm not considering nobody else. It's just about like what did I like most in these rounds? And Nelly clearly won. It's like, are y'all bugging right now?
Clearly.
And then you put that on the internet and everybody asked you.
And they went in and I'm like, and then that's when I came to the chat and I'm like, yo, I'm like, am I bugging? Like,
Yes.
Like, are y'all serious?
It's even going
It was
down.
a good battle. I'll say that it was a very good battle.
I'm trying to find the list.
Songs that don't have a feature. And Nelly's songs still ring off when you go out.
On the list because we're
I
gonna
think
break
it's a tie.
Fantasy.
I like Nelly.
I think it's a tie.
On a solo joint.
I also be biased because Nelly is an honorary Harlem nigga. Like he rode with a bunch of Harlem niggas. Cool to Love, all the niggas.
Honorary Harlem nigga.
Sugar J. Because all his team, all the dudes on his team were all from Harlem. Sugar J, Cool to Love, like all those dudes are from Harlem. The dudes that after Mace retired, like they got with Nelly and like his whole management team was the people that worked with Mace.
All right, so let's go through this list together, guys.
Look at this nigga sideburns.
That's the only
Y'all still trying to come to terms with
Nasty. No, get Wi-Fi before you talk, because now you're sounding like Nelly.
That's the only way we're gonna get some clarity. So round one was Welcome to Atlanta versus Nelly's Nah Nah Nah. I gave it to Ludacris.
Luda got that.
Yeah.
Come on.
I love Nah, but all right.
Like, don't play Luda.
Nah, Eli's really frozen. Wow.
He really.
Damn, he having a Teddy
And he
Riley
came here to
effect.
cap for Luda. And he's
That is
not
hilarious.
That's the problem. He came to cap for Luda.
He just came
Wow.
in. All right. Round 2 was Pussy Poppin' versus Tip Drill. I gave that to Nelly.
Tip drill.
Tip drill.
Round 3 was My Chick Bad versus Pimp Juice. That's Pimp Juice all day.
Okay, you got that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Round 4 was Ho versus Flap Your Wings. I gave that to Flap Your Wings.
Whoa.
Why?
Nah,
Also, really quick tidbit. Ludacris is really disrespectful to women.
All right.
And I love
we're talking about hip hop. Don't make us.
I love it.
It's blatant. His disrespect for women is blatant.
He's
Besides,
also a whore for women, and we
kindness.
like that too. Because he's also always talking about the things he's willing to do. We okay with that?
Yeah. Sarah pointed out to me that he's the only rapper that sounds like he's actually had sex.
Yeah, he literally, the way he talks about fucking women doesn't sound like it's for self. It sounds like everybody's having a good time, and I'm gonna respect that.
Sing it, hoes.
I'll sing that out for you, Angela.
Luda's a legend now. I'm telling you.
And you sung it. And you sung it.
And then bitches said, they sang it.
Round 5 was Saturday versus Ride With Me. That's Ride With Me.
Ride with me.
Saturday.
I like Saturday a lot.
Ride with me.
Saturday.
I like Saturday a lot, and I will still go with Ride With Me. But that's nostalgia for
was legendary.
Rooster in the background.
Nigga, white people was like,
yeah, that's a hard one. I would have tied that.
Saturday.
Who
had niggas ooh before Nelly did. Let's talk about it. Who stole who shit?
Round 6 was What's Your Fantasy versus Country Grammar.
That's a tie.
That's hard. That's a tie.
I gave that to Luda.
That's hard, but I wasn't.
I fuck with What's Your Fantasy though.
I fuck with both.
What's my childhood?
I wasn't voting with Ty in mind, so I gave it to Country Grammar. Like Country Grammar is like, come on, guys.
I have to tie that. There's no way. I'm not choosing between Country Grammar and I'm tying.
Country Grammar was even a better video.
Yeah, I'm still tying it.
I'm tying it.
Fantasy, come on. I'm tying
That's my childhood. Fantasy is my childhood. Fuck you.
Honestly, even though I have Nelly winning this overall, I gave that to What's Your Fantasy.
I gave that a Country Grammar.
Chloe was a fucking fresh little girl, yo.
I was.
That's a tie.
But that was your fucking
Chloe,
childhood.
don't
Both
worry
of those
about
songs
it.
came out the same summer.
Listen, I went to day camp in the Bronx and we were in the pool. That's my shit, okay?
And then you got Roll Out versus Body on Me. I gave that to Roll Out.
Yeah, roll out.
Sorry, Ashanti.
Yeah.
Roll out.
He was just trying to give Ashanti a little nod.
That nigga, he miss her sometimes. You can tell.
He do. I know he do.
I don't think so.
He
He wouldn't even like acknowledge he was dating. Crazy.
No, because she said she didn't want to do that. Him and her started during the time that Jay and Beyonce was starting, and she saw like how people was like how they like handled Jay and B's relationship. She didn't want to go through that with her.
That sounds like Ashanti's mistake because Jay-Z and Beyonce.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
They was together for 10 years, yo.
This is a mad long, yeah. No.
Like,
she had a full he was worth. She chilling.
Next round, you got Splash Waterfalls versus My Place. I gave that
Splash.
I gave that to Ludacris.
Yeah, duh.
I
felt like the public consensus, like we couldn't fight that, and then he got the Raphael Sadiq remix and everything. But I mean, I was a huge fan, but that image of Jaheim outside of Whitney Houston's funeral ruined his career. So
you always gotta bring some shit up.
It did. When I was like, yo, I love Jaheim, everybody was like, this Jaheim? And it was that horrible picture of him in that ugly purple suit.
Yo,
I don't even remember that, bro.
Google Jaheim Whitney Houston's funeral.
I don't want to. I don't want that.
Actually, let me find it.
He's gonna make it his background.
Yeah, no, it's the picture with the green suit and he's like this outside, looking crazy.
He was
right, round 9, we got Ciara featuring Ludacris for O versus Notorious B.I.G., Diddy, Nelly, Jagged Edge, and Avery Storm for Nasty Girl.
Oh, still.
I gave it to O.
Yeah.
If we just talk about Nelly's verse on that, no.
Yeah, because at that point, yeah, it's about the verse. It's verses.
Even though Nasty Girl is a bop.
Nasty Girl is a bop.
It's a bop. And I love Nelly's verse on there, but Luda out-rapped him. And Luda out-rapped mad niggas. And I'm sorry. That is a legendary verse.
Yeah.
Okay, so round 10, you got the Made You Look remix versus the Rock the Mic remix.
The greatest
obviously,
thing
that one. Obviously, the Made You Look.
Made You Look wins.
That wasn't even a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got for the next round, you got some song from.
Wait, I just gotta say, I was really happy he played the Rock the Mic remix because a lot of people forgot about that. That sometimes Nelly would get in his bag and actually come hard.
But that's the problem. A lot of people forgot, which is why it wasn't legendary.
Next.
He played that. I was like, I forgot he was on there.
Yeah.
Legendary.
I remember because he was KRS-One.
So what?
Would you say, Danny?
He's more famous for being Dom Toretto's IT guy, is what Felix said.
Yeah, and that's a fact.
Oh, Felix.
That's a Furious.
So Nelly played some song called 1,000 Stacks versus the They Know remix. Ludacris.
That was crazy.
That was
crazy.
Ludacris.
Nelly like threw that round. I was like, what?
Nelly knew he wasn't gonna beat that round. I think with what he had because he had to have a verse. So he was like, all right, let me just use this and get it out the way.
And then you got this is where it gets tricky for most people because the next round you got Jagged Edge, Where the Party At versus I gave it to Jagged Edge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That Nelly verse.
It's a party at.
You said what'd you say, Bia?
I'm giving it to Where the Party At for sure.
That's a good
song growing up was my shit.
Yeah.
That's our shit
I
now.
think they're both really big tracks, but if I have to choose the one I prefer, is Where the Party At.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie. I remember like TRL days, and I remember when the day was coming out, and it was like Usher. Remember Usher had the U-Chain, and that was like the promo for everything. Like,
but the crazy thing is that if you talk about it on like a global scale, it's actually the bigger song.
It's a way bigger song.
Yeah, it's the bigger song.
That's the thing. That's why you can't judge it like that. Like you just gotta go into it with like your personal preference. That's what makes these battles so good. You can just go into it like, yo, I don't care, because I didn't like from jump. I was like, yo, what is this?
And then had the dance and everything, like really kind of do the Usher dance.
Now do the muscle.
You know, motherfuckers love it when you tell them what to do on the dance floor. I don't know why, but they love that shit.
Nigga, the Q-tip, throw it away.
Stop, all of it. All right, but we agree. Where
the Party at
is better, yeah.
That's crazy because a lot of people said that we were
I can even. I think that song I hit that.
That's crazy.
Next round was Grills versus Stand Up. I gave that to Grills.
I gave that.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Stand up.
I think that was hard for me too, but I still go with Stand Up.
Like really? Like that's a good song to you?
Really? No. It's just in the club. I know it went off. Like when I move, you move, just like that. Like that was a good song. Don't try to act like that wasn't a bop.
Good.
I tied both of them honestly. That was a tie.
Grills had me ruin aluminum foil. Like I went through aluminum foil.
Yeah, and Grills was a moment though. For sure. I'm tying that one too.
Okay, that was a bigger hit, but lyrically.
What were the options?
Stand up. When I move, you move.
Just like that?
Versus Grills?
Yeah.
I'm going with Grills.
Yes.
I All Alone. Paul Wall alone makes that whole song.
Y'all don't even know it, but y'all literally have Nelly in the lead right now. Y'all don't even know it.
No, I have Luda in the lead.
I'm tied too.
Okay. So next round. Next round we got Air Force Ones versus Southern Hospitality.
Southern Hospitality.
Hard.
Air Force Ones. Y'all bugging.
Hospitality.
Wait, what is that?
Surprisingly, for me, I had Southern Hospitality over Air Force Ones.
I had Southern Hospitality too, but I think that's because we're from Uptown and we don't appreciate other people claiming Air Force Ones because we know them as Uptowns.
Yeah, Air Force One. That was a global.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna go with Air Force Ones because that was the first time I even think I really realized that people don't call them Uptowns everywhere.
Yeah,
I learned something.
That bothered me though. That bothered me. Like, no, they're Uptowns.
Y'all know they called Air Force. Stop it.
I never thought about it. No, I genuinely never thought about it. It was more like that is what the fuck they're called.
Nah, you gotta.
It's like Constructs and Tims. Like I'm like, oh yeah, yeah.
I just realized he has Jaheim in the background.
Right, man.
Oh, the next round, we got Shake Your Tail Feather versus All I Do Is Win.
Shake Your Tail Feather.
All I Do Is Win is one of the most annoying songs made in the history of hip hop, and it's all
literally.
White people love that shit.
They do. They love it
because it's simple. They can follow instructions.
I think All I Do Is Win the song that really catapulted Khaled into white people mainstream too. I feel like no.
Yeah.
Because it started getting played at sporting events. So once your music starts getting played at sporting events, you're gonna have, Jake and Molly just fucking out there like, yeehaw, just wilding.
Karen and shit on the weekend.
Yeah.
So next we got Nelly. Nelly played Just a Dream versus Area Codes. Area
Codes.
Even though
I feel like Nelly was the only person who liked Just a Dream.
I like Just a Dream. I was thinking about her.
I like Just a Dream.
You don't play that on a regular Sunday. Shut up.
Yeah.
You don't know what I play.
Thing on more than Area Codes is. But
Area Codes is the video where the brat is like the first time we saw her like show skin and shit too on the beach, right?
Nah, what do you like?
Nah, that's what you like.
Oh, that's what you like. I'm confusing the videos. My bad.
Yeah. And then the next round you got EI versus Moneymaker. That's EI.
Yeah.
Moneymaker was a terrible song.
That video gave me my obsession for women in braids. All right, like that video was amazing. Every part of that whole album when it came out was great. It was like 7th grade. It was perfect.
The next song.
Yeah.
Nelly featuring Nicki Minaj and Pharrell for Get Like Me versus Ludacris How Low. I personally like Get Like Me more, but I'll accept How Low. I know most people are gonna say How Low.
I mean,
Get Like Me was late in Nelly's career, so I think that's why I kind of fell on deaf ears. But Get Like Me,
I don't know that song.
I never heard this song before in my life.
Get Like Me, I don't remember it at all.
Yeah,
it was late in Nelly's career, but it's a bop.
Yeah, that shit is fire. Next song is Hot in Here versus Move Bitch.
That's a tie.
Tie
round.
It's hot.
It's a fucking tie, nigga.
That's a tie.
It might be hot in here, man.
Move, bitch. That shit is lit when it comes out.
Yeah, but they both went off at the parties when we were partying.
Bitch, Hot in Here had me stripping at 13. Like,
exactly. Hot in Here was one of the good, like.
And Move Bitch has me fighting bitches too. So it's like they're equal party starters. Like,
yeah.
Hot in Here is
Hot in Her is body positive, promoting everybody should, just relax and undress.
Okay, I'll put it to you like this though. Hot in Here back in the day rang off at the parties. If I heard it now, I'm not gonna get hyped. But if I hear Move Bitch now, I'm still getting hyped.
That's a valid point. That's a very valid point.
So for me to tie them is me from the bottom of my heart trying to give both of them men love because
Move Bitch.
There's an obvious winner there, and I'm still giving it a tie.
Nah, you know what? I'm gonna give it to Move Bitch. Originally, I gave it a Hot in Here. I'm gonna give it to Move Bitch.
Move Bitch, cause you still get hyped for that shit.
Yeah.
I'll nudge on that one. I'll say Move Bitch. And then you got Dilemma versus Lovers and Friends.
Lovers and Friends.
Dilemma.
Come on now, Lovers and Friends and Dilemma.
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 Lovers and Friends.
Lovers and Friends. You're smoking meth.
Tell me again.
I don't want to choose, but I keep tying, so I'm gonna give this to Dilemma.
Tell me again.
How about this?
Nah, I'm tying because fuck out of here. Lovers and Friends.
Your man was typing text in an Excel spreadsheet.
So wait, you know what's funny though? Like for Dilemma, I think a lot about Kelly Rowland, but with Lovers and Friends, I think of Luda. Like Luda's
right.
I think of Lil Jon. Lil Jon. Exactly.
That was the verse where he raps. Shout it.
Fucking never crossed my mind.
Shout it.
But even that opening, like, I don't know. This is hard. That's a hard one.
Yeah, no.
I'm giving it a Dilemma for fucking nostalgic reasons. That was like 8th grade boom music, so I'm going with that.
So I mean, you can close it out there, Chloe. You've been keeping tabs.
Yeah, but you're not gonna like my score.
What's your score?
I got 5, 10.
I've
been fair though. I got Nelly at like 11, and I have Luda at 15.
Ow, it's 20 songs.
It's 20 songs.
I gave ties. And then I went on TikTok for a little bit. I'm sorry.
She said 15 and 11 out of 20.
Wait a
I
minute.
stopped counting. I was on TikTok for a few of those. I'm sorry.
But I mean, for me, Nelly won. Like, just I feel like a lot of people just were like judging the battle off of Nelly having like, you know, just issues with his shit.
Being old.
So I'm actually going back by what we said, Reg. I agreed with you on most of it. The only thing I think I didn't agree with you on was choosing Move Bitch.
Mm-hmm. Well, no,
it's 10-10 right now. I have it over. What if we had to throw our own tiebreaker?
Oh, well, I mean, they did do bonus rounds, so you can go off of that.
Anybody have the bonus rounds?
Let's
All I have is the first one.
Damn, let me see. I can't find the bonus. But they did play bonus songs, but I stopped like after like.
They did Sex Room, right?
Oh yeah, you like that song?
No, but
he should play over and over again much earlier in the game.
And then he had the nerve to say, "Oh, like we gonna do an album."
Girlfriend too.
Well, they said they were gonna do a tour. They said they're gonna do an album.
Yeah, they said
what?
They were gonna do an album together. I'm like, yo, why? For what?
We don't want that.
Y'all niggas got.
We didn't ask for that.
Yeah, it's 15 years too late for that. They should have done 15 years ago.
Yeah, they could do a movie together. That might be
Tim McGraw.
Yeah.
That's the only way they gonna be able.
Nah, they about 20 years late.
Now you bugging. Tim McGraw could go on tour the rest of his life, no matter how old he is, and bring Nelly out.
They better start getting some pop artists Nelly on that album.
Yup.
Make a song, because I know black people
They're gonna get Lil Nas X to be on that shit. They're gonna do a power track with Lil Nas X and
it's gonna be like Lil Nas X and his grandpas.
And Billy Ray Cyrus. I could see them doing a master track like that.
Ludacris being featured on a country music song would be amazing though, because I really think that he
has country music songs.
Ludacris?
Yes, he has one or two already. Hold on.
Name of him, Danny.
He does?
Yes. Hold on, I'm bringing it up. I know that he definitely does. And Ludacris country music. That sounds horrible to hear already. Ludacris country music. That sounds disgusting.
But I mean, I got Luda winning, man. Luda won. I mean, not Luda. Sorry, Nelly.
No, Luda did win. You were correct.
Luda won.
You were correct.
I got Nelly.
That little Freudian slip you just had. That's exactly.
Dirt Road Out Anthem remix.
Okay.
Is his country song.
So guys, the proposed next versus battle is 112 minus 3
112
versus Jagged Edge.
You know, this is my battle. I've been waiting for years.
What that mean?
I don't because it's just what the new 112 is just Slim. The other 3 members left.
Yeah.
They're gonna get everybody back.
112 would have it. Even then, like 112 still has Jagged Edge can't compete with them.
I agree.
Thank you. I've been saying this fucking years, my nigga. Years.
They also have to be just one of them each because like social distancing and shit.
Well, two of them is twins. They got the same DNA regardless.
I don't think it's a social distancing thing no more. People gave up on that shit. Like people.
I've been outside.
That one? You think?
I've been outside.
I go outside, but I don't be around.
Oh wait.
I live in Texas. It's different.
I got a backyard.
Texas just had 200 new cases. Chill out, Chloe.
For you.
Nah, I'm chilling. I'm cool. I got a mask.
Chloe was
outside,
definitely
but I'm not in here getting
outside, not social distancing. I saw that video.
I already had corona. I'm a survivor. So thanks.
Did?
I think I did. Low key.
No.
Did you see that? Did you see that tweet earlier? It was like nobody, all black people. I think I had corona like in December. No, honestly, I told you I was sick when I went to Jamaica. When I came back, I was in quarantine for like 2 weeks. I definitely had it. I was on antibiotics and everything, but
I'm glad you're okay.
Might did voodoo on you? You're a local. You're a local girl.
No, nigga, I was sick in New York because I flew out of New York, JFK. So definitely probably caught it there.
Oh, which one of them niggas?
That makes sense.
Which one of your New York joints?
I wasn't. First of all, we're not doing this. First of all, I went with my best friend for her birthday, which I saw.
All right.
Relax.
I'll relax. I'm sorry, the wine's talking.
Wow, you put my business on the street, Torian? That's ridiculous.
New York work?
It'd be your own friends.
It really do. I'm over here trying to be all zen and shit. I got my yin and my yang. Your aura is ridiculous.
Yo, yeah, that's really popping. Your background is dope over there.
Thank you. I painted that.
Is that velvet?
My couch is purple velvet, yes.
Mine is navy blue velvet.
Yes!
I love your velvet couch. Wait, real quick to Verzuz though. Can I just say that I would like us to bring it back to producers and songwriters?
ASAP.
I think it's.
I really want a Missy one. I really want Missy.
Both a producer and a songwriter, so I am okay with that.
Missy is very, very much in the social media world. You say something and Missy get enough retweets.
She's there. Yeah, she's there.
They just don't know who to pair her against.
Missy versus Brian Michael Cox.
But not as fair though, because Missy had a lot of her own tracks.
How's it not fair? Brian Michael Cox has a lot of great written songs.
No, Brian Michael Cox is phenomenal and one of my favorite writers of all time. Right. And especially after Jonta and Neo, I definitely wanted to see him. I just don't know if that's the right pairing for Missy.
Gonna whoop Dark Child's ass, and I love Dark Child.
She will.
She gonna win just off of the Aaliyah nostalgia, because she wrote a lot of Aaliyah.
Actually, you know what? You're right. I think I am down for Brian Michael Cox and Missy.
It works, like, because it's
really good.
I think the thing that works in Verzuz,
and it would also be breaking the segregation boundaries that we have right now with the gender.
With men and women, Missy absolutely has to go against a man, though. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think that has to be the first one to go.
Because
I understand what you're saying, but that's
Songwriters Hall of Fame.
You just said that.
Missy's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, so it's just I truthfully, honestly, would have loved to see Missy and Babyface go at it. Truthfully,
that would have been really interesting.
Because you got to think, they're actually kind of like yin and not even yin and yang. They're mirror images of both. They both are solo artists and they both write songs for other people. That would have been a great one for them to.
And Missy's pen goes back to the early '80s, I mean the late '80s. So yeah,
it does. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I think. That would have been really good. Like people really sleep on what Missy. What Misdemeanor Elliott has done, and she's been around for a lot, and she's been in a lot of those rooms. Even like early on when she was working with Puff, and she was working with Puff like quietly, like as a ghostwriter.
There's a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, like a lot of shit that she wrote for Total. Oh my goodness, yes.
But that's also kind of why
I won't. So we're talking about songwriters and people that has like a vocal career, right, or solo albums, right? So why not pair her with Pharrell?
I was thinking that too.
That would be a good battle.
Really, you read my mind. When people keep bringing, I think just Pharrell. I feel like it should just be Missy versus Pharrell, because the Neptunes to me would then.
He still gets to use the Neptunes stuff though.
Yeah.
So I mean, Missy and Pharrell would be nice. But
that would be perfect.
And Chad don't want to be bothered. We already know he doesn't want to be bothered. So I feel like this would be a nice.
Did you see that?
Chad's doing master classes on beat making now online and shit.
Did you guys see that Neptunes
living his best life? I love Chad. I wish he was my friend.
What you say, Reg?
You didn't see that Neptunes page that went up on Twitter?
Yeah.
They worked on Twitter. Niggas was freaking out. They put up a picture of the sky, and niggas was freaking out.
Yeah.
They're about to get a new project. I feel like that's why Pharrell been so quiet as well. He's been saving lives, and he's about to give us a new project.
Yeah. He's a father,
That's fair.
He ain't got time for all this shit.
And he had to do a lot of cleaning up because they had to cancel something in the water again. And, he's got a lot on his plate.
He ain't got time for all this shit. Wow, the ice cream truck is out here? That's wow.
That's essential, Reg.
I was waiting for the proper sign-off. You just
guys, tonight was a good episode. I want to thank Chloe for joining us. Ivana, I appreciate you. Danny, thanks. Julius, go fuck yourself.
Guidelines.
I'm Torian B.
I'm First Class Reg.
And we'll catch you guys next week.
Peace.
Bye.